Rookie mini camps either underway or going to be underway very soon. And why in Chicago, Bloom? Please don't ruin Caleb Williams. Please don't ruin Caleb Williams. But just anything Caleb Williams reported out of Chicago, I'll be watching with great interest.
Yeah, we're going to watch the chemistry here between him and his new receivers. And I think DJ Moore was interviewed this week, and they asked him about it. And he said, it will be a race to 1,000 yards. Isn't that really what you want for your quarterback? Internal competition
Yes.
among these three receivers. And you really couldn't come up with a better complementary trio, right? Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and now Rome Odunze. And whatever we thought about Caleb Williams before the draft, him getting Rome Odunze really ramps up his rookie year upside. Shane Waldron's an important name here. We saw what he did to rehabilitate Geno Smith's career, and we also saw him work with three receivers in LA, and he worked with three receivers in Seattle. They also have Gerald Everett, who Waldron has worked with, and they have Cole Kmet. So all the pieces are there for Caleb Williams to come out of the gate very strong as a passer. And then you also have 4 games against Detroit and Minnesota. Those now look like potential shootouts with all these weapons.
Yes, all these weapons. And Bloom, why do we still get this? And we've been doing this show for 19 years.
Mm,
And all the time, and you and I are a little counterculture anyway, and counterculture is much different than what people think it is. That's our different
sure.
show.
Yeah.
But like we always try to go, okay, why? Because anytime a receiver's added, well, there's only one football, and no competition. Guys can
Yeah.
go get it. Caleb Williams can distribute it. Just protect him better than USC did. So anytime I hear, oh, there's only one football, yeah, well, could there be 3,000-yard receivers?
Sure.
It's not out of the question. I'm not predicting that, but like it's a competition, a race for that, and I love that.
Yeah, I think that's what you want, and it's a friendly competition, but it's also something where, especially with a rookie like Odunze, you drive these guys to a higher level. And I think that we also have this idea of rookie quarterbacks of maybe catching defenses at least earlier on in the season a little bit by surprise with their skill set. I think Caleb Williams definitely has the kind of skill set that makes an asymmetrical battle with the defense. The name Patrick Mahomes comes up, and it's instructive. You know, comparisons are instructive. I don't understand why everybody hates comparisons. Not everybody, but you hear people say comparisons. But
Yes.
it's just a way. It's just a shorthand way to say, how does this player bring to bear what they have on the field to help their team? And Caleb Williams, maybe inside of structure, is not a quarterback that, say, Bo Nix is. Maybe that's why Bo Nix was so appealing to the Broncos. But outside of structure, Caleb Williams already has that wizardry, the off-platform throws, the throws like the Patrick Mahomes throws that he knows he can make, that he's going to attempt that maybe the defense isn't ready for. And then you have a contested ball winner like Rome Odunze. And the other thing I like, Cease, is the picture, is the story that they were on the flight to Detroit together, and they looked so happy together. And they said, hey, maybe not. Let's do this. Maybe not turned into maybe so. And this is really exciting. I think we've seen a lot of these situations where a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver come in, CJ Stroud and Tank Dell, for instance. And we'll see about Bo Nix and Troy Franklin, where there's already an existing chemistry there. And immediately, chemistry between a quarterback and a wide receiver is probably one of the most underrated fantasy football predictive factors, because we can't always know it.
Right.
We don't have access to that stuff, but we can reverse engineer it by watching how these guys play out of the gate. And also the reports we're going to get out of rookie minicamp, the reports we're going to get out of camp are going to show us which receiver Caleb Williams is most locked in on.
Well, and let's chop that up before we move on to my favorite tight end in this class. The reports out of Chicago. What will you be looking for? We all know, like for me personally, my buddy Kevin Fishbane. I'll be watching for anything Kevin reports from rookie minicamp. We'll talk about Bo Nix. That's coming up on Thursday because I will be at Centura Health Training Center. Sorry, they changed the name again. And they don't like
Heinz
us to
Field.
say Dove Valley. I'll be out at Dove Valley, Broncos headquarters for 3 days this week, starting, for the Friday, Niner somewhere. Anyway, so I'll be there. I'll be talking to Bo Nix and all that kind of stuff. That's Thursday show. But like Chicago reporters and everyone, oh, it's fluff and oh, it's practice and oh, they're throwing and no, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. But our trusted Chicago reporters should be seeing something pretty special developing, and that's why we always have the drum beats, the ear to the ground. It starts now with rookie minicamp.
Yeah, I think that maybe the players that hasn't been mentioned nearly enough, if we're talking about winners in the Bears offense, is DeAndre Swift, because he was the first announcement of the free agent legal tampering period, right? It was like 1201. DeAndre Swift's going to sign a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Bears. I don't know what the actual numbers ended up being, but the point is he's the starting running back. They looked at having Khalil Herbert, Rashawn Johnson, and said, no, we want to add to that room. And when you have three wide receivers as your base offense, you're going to spread out the defense. DeAndre Swift is going to see light boxes. We saw at times what that did for him with the Eagles. And I think that however you had DeAndre Swift ranked before the draft, the Bears, when we knew they were going to get Caleb Williams, but them also getting Rome Odunze should help DeAndre Swift. It should help the running game and should really put defenses in a bind where they can't necessarily try to take away Caleb Williams' improvisation ability. They can't try to have heavy boxes, and they can't just sit back in two high safeties and let DeAndre Swift run like we saw the Eagles do at times last year. So if Shane Waldron is a creative play caller and play designer, this could be one of the best 10 or 12 offenses immediately.
This could be one of the best tight ends in the league, developing behind the best tight end to ever play. It's Jared Wiley, and I want to reemphasize how much I love him, how I got physically ill when the Chiefs drafted him because I wanted the Broncos to take him. Because when I was at the Senior Bowl, Bloom, I thought he was a wide receiver. Again, I'm not looking at helmets. I'm just looking at numbers. I'm watching practice. I'm trying to take in as much as I can during practice and then after practice. Thankful for a team allowing me access to their Exos. So I'm allowed to watch the Exos again and watch practice again. And there's a lot of people at the Senior Bowl do. I'll watch it during the regular season as well. Anyway, sick brag, bro. Jared Wiley looked like a flipping wide receiver. He's 6'6", whatever, 250 pounds, can fly, has crazy ball skills, body control. Again, I've been doing this a long time, and not that I'm right on everything, but like I mistakenly thought, like, wow, I really like this receiver. Oh my God, it's a tight end. Jared Wiley, now the reports out of KC, you know what they are now? He could have a role sooner than you think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he could.
Yeah, and what's exciting about this from a dynasty fantasy football standpoint, Cease, is Noah Gray is going to be a free agent next year. And maybe the Chiefs will pay up for Noah Gray, but maybe this draft pick of Jared Wiley indicates that, hey, if someone else wants to give Noah Gray 8, 10, $12 million a year, one of those classic, we're not paying you for what you did, we're paying you for what you're going to do because,
Right.
well, you didn't do that much because you were behind the best in the game. Now you have Jared Wiley, who is, I think that he's going to absolutely make some money as a blocker. But as you said, he's got the size. I believe he led all of FBS tight ends in touchdowns last year. And he's a player that, as a receiver, like you said, there's a lot to work with there. Andy Reid said that he liked the way he changed direction. He liked the way he caught the ball, and he said he was a good blocker in college. We'll see if that transfers. But he's a two-way tight end, and that's a way for him to get on the field with Travis Kelce. Kelce just signed a 2-year extension, but maybe by the end of Wiley's rookie contract, we're looking at him as the heir apparent.
Well, and I don't want to call it too soon because it was and again, Bloom, and we've been doing this a long time. Was it Marvin Harrison? Where I was like, oh, he's done, and then he wasn't done, and I was like, oh, he's done, and he wasn't done, and then oh, he's done, and then he was done. With Kelce, the walls could just hit. I hope he plays forever. Okay, and I hope he's happy with everything that he does, and I hope he never stops playing football. But I also know reality. One day it's gonna stop, and that wall for players, go back and look at Marvin
Mhm.
Harrison, who I always think of when I think of this topic, Bloom. That wall can hit, and fantasy GMs, dynasty owners, you need to be ready because you can't. Well, I got Travis Kelce, yeah, and he's got like a year or
Right.
two, and that's what we're hoping he can get. Lord knows we don't want him to get hurt, but like it could happen at any moment where a guy's career, and it's like, remember him? He was awesome. Oh, that
Right.
was 2 years ago when he could play. He can't play anymore. Time, Father Time is undefeated. You must be prepared for that. The Chiefs are prepared with this pick of Jared Wiley.
And with Kelce, remember, let's keep this in mind as we think about the 2024 rookie class. What happened to Travis Kelce in his first year? Microfracture surgery. Microfracture surgery back at a time when that
Right.
seemed to be kind of a desperate move for a team. It's like, well, let's
Hmm.
try microfracture surgery because otherwise. But the wear and tear on Kelce can be accumulating. And we did see, much to the chagrin of many fantasy football folks, that they load managed Kelce. I think that they absolutely were looking ahead to January. They were looking ahead to February and saying, we're not going to ride Kelce too hard during the season. Because what did we see in the postseason? We saw good old Travis Kelce,
Right.
both in terms of production and just his form. And there were times during the season you might say he doesn't look like Travis Kelce right now. He's not having a Travis Kelce sized impact on the game, et cetera, et cetera. So I would expect that to repeat. I think that is probably the Chiefs showing where they know about where Kelce is in his career arc. So we could even see during the regular season, maybe not enough for Noah Gray and Jared Wiley to be fantasy relevant, but for dynasty leagues, again, you're going to get that preview. You're going to get that coming attraction. And again, if we see Kelce decline more physically in year two and Noah Gray has signed elsewhere, then the guy they have to turn to is Jared Wiley.
And just be tuned in. All it takes is a game, Willie
Yep.
Parker. All it takes is maybe a play, Lucas Kroll, and talk about him coming up, Bloom. Coming up next. Boy, we're going through my favorites today. Thank you, Bloom. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being you. Because I was like, what are we talking about? You're like, how about Marshon Lloyd? And I was like, of course, I'll always talk about Marshon Lloyd because AJ Dillon is not good at football. And Josh Jacobs, okay, again, wall, father time, whatever. Like, Marshon Lloyd's right there. And the reports out of Green Bay are kind of exciting. I'm excited to see what Lloyd can do. He's got to hang on to the rock, of course. That's the big caveat with him. But all the skill is there for him to take over that backfield someday, Bloom. We'll have to wait. Maybe not that long.
Yeah, and you're seeing already out of Green Bay. I'm going to give credit to the Coach Speak Index.
Yeah.
It's hey, somebody. This is something that I think I've probably said many times during the 19 years of the show. Is here's a way that somebody can make a mark, just recording this stuff and then following up. And Coach Speak Index had Adam Stenovich, the offensive coordinator, saying Lloyd might not receive limited action like AJ Dillon did in his rookie year because he said, I would like to get him out there as much as possible. Oh, he has a
Ooh.
skill set that's a little different than AJ's as far as his speed, getting him the ball in space. I think he's going to add an explosive element to the offense. And then Matt LaFleur said he can definitely be a weapon out of the backfield. He can be a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses. So it's easy to see. One of the things I think we get wrong in fantasy football is a fantasy football backfield can absolutely create two every week starters. If it's a good
Yes.
offense,
Yes.
that is not a high bar, especially in the running back by committee age, the devalued running back age of the NFL. So this isn't a fade Josh Jacobs. Oh, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs in the third round, assuming that last year his efficiency drop off had more to do with the Raiders offense than him. And the Packers obviously believe that to some extent, or they wouldn't have signed him. You see how good this offense is. And the thing about the Packers offense in general, and see whether we're talking about Christian Watson or Jordan Love or Jaden Reed or Luke Musgrave, okay, Dontavian Wicks, even guys like Tucker Kraft, if we're talking about waiver wire guys, Romeo Dobbs, this offense is still on its way up. It's still getting better.
Right.
We just saw it come together in the second half of the year last year. So Marshon Lloyd as a player that can be isolated in matchups receiving matchups with linebackers, Marshon Lloyd as a guy that can be a true change of pace, because we use that term a lot, change of pace runner. Okay. Think about Josh Jacobs. Think about your mentality as a linebacker, as a safety, when it's time to defend Josh Jacobs. Now, if you've watched Marshon Lloyd, think about Marshon Lloyd. And what Marshon Lloyd gives, I think, we talked about this already on the Green Bay draft recap. Check out those division by division draft recaps, a tradition like no other. That he's got that patient explode style,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a Matt LaFleur to Shanahan style runner.
Right.
And so defenses that are used to Josh Jacobs, body blow, body blow, body blow, body blow. And now you have to adjust to Marshon Lloyd, where you might have to change direction really quickly. You might be put on ice skates, and you also have a burst that is going to be very difficult when you're lulled into the rhythm of Josh Jacobs. If LaFleur and Stenovich are creative in how they deploy these guys, they can really put defenses in a bind.
I am lulled by the rhythm of Sigmund Bloom's dulcet tones. Who's coming up on the couch this week, buddy?
Jake Seeley from the Athletic. Coming up, we're going to have Matt Batanti, the one and only draft daddy, is coming up later this
Yes.
month to talk offensive line and all other good things, and a cavalcade of guests, because we just love talking football. We just like hanging out with our friends and chopping it up, and it's because of y'all that we get a chance to do that.
Bloom, tell me something good.
Mm.
I get sing-songy whenever I'm around you. Hey,
Yeah.
we've got 3 YouTube channels now, so thank you for watching the Audible here on YouTube. Thank you for listening, whether it's Spotify or Apple Music, what have you. We appreciate you. 19 years in on this thing, and now Football Guys Dynasty Football channel. Make sure to subscribe to that. Football Guys Fantasy Football channel. Make sure to subscribe to that. So here on the Audible channel, we'll be bringing you Bob Harris and On the Couch and IDP Roundtable and all of our normal Audible stuff. We got plenty more for you at Football Guys. And of course, our free daily newsletter has started again. Now, after the draft, goes all the way through to the Super Bowl every single day, hot and fresh to your inbox. The top sports news, fantasy football wise, right to your inbox. It's a Football Guys free daily newsletter. Check it out at footballguys.com. You want to support the show? Subscribe to footballguys.com. You want to get a taste of what we do at footballguys.com? Subscribe to that newsletter. Takes written by Bob Harris, Sigmund Bloom, Cecil Lammey. I just went third person, and Joe Bryant. That's a hell of a coordinary, and we appreciate you for doing that. He's Sigmund Bloom. You follow him on Twitter at Sigmund Bloom. I'm at Cecil Lammey. The show's at The Audible. We say thank you for watching. Do the YouTube things. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. Stay tuned, and would you please stay frosty.